Welcome back to another tutorial of iPhone app development. In this tutorial, we are going to discuss basic concepts of Swift. If you are a beginner, this is the best tutorial where you can learn the basic of the Swift before starting the code in iOS app development. So, let us start with the topic we are going to discuss. First of all, we will start with the let and where. They are used to define any variable let and where. Specifying types or type annotation, we will be learning what is a type annotation or specifying type. We will be learning numbers, boolean and strings. We will be learning the collection type. Collection type includes array, dictionary and set. So we will be learning with array, dictionary and set here. We will be learning what are the optional, how to write a function in Swift language, how to write a tuple in a Swift language, what is a class and structure, what is the difference between class and structure. This is the main topic that is used to ask in an interview. What is the difference between class and structure? So we are going to discuss that. We are going to discuss the control flow. We are going to discuss the closures. We are going to discuss the enum. We are going to discuss the protocols. So let us start with let and where. So we will be discussing these things practically in a playground, and I will show how to create a playground. Playground is something that Xcode provide for learning anything in a Swift language, or before creating any project you can use a playground. In the playground all the codes are run instantly. As you write any line of a code, that code is executed at that moment only. So we will be using that. So before going to the practical, doing the practically with this Xcode, let us discuss this theoretically and let us learn what is let and where. Let keyword is used to declare a constant and where keyword is used to declare a variable. Variable created with both of them are either reference or a pointer type. The difference between them is that when you create a constant with let, you have to give it a value upon declaration or within calling a scope, and you cannot reassign it. And when you declare a variable with a where, it can either be assigned right away or later or not at all. It can be a nil. So this is what the let and where is. Before coming to string, let us create a playground and let us learn what is a let and where. So let me close my slide and start with the playground. Go to your Xcode if you have a Xcode installed. If you do not have a Xcode installed, you can download the Xcode from App Store, and I have shown that in my first tutorial. If you haven't gone through my previous tutorial or the first tutorial, you can click the thumbnail and get back to it before moving further, so that this downloading the Xcode and learning the Swift will go side by side. So let me open the Xcode. I have typed Xcode on my Spotlight since I have downloaded the Xcode. Xcode is easily available in my application and I can find it using this Spotlight. I will write a Xcode and Xcode will open. This is inside the application folder. I will double click the Xcode. Xcode will open. So you can see a Xcode over here. Now comes a welcome screen. In the welcome screen, you have create a new Xcode project, cloning with the existing project and open a project or file. Previous to the Xcode 12, we used to have a create a new playground button in this welcome screen. Now for opening a playground in Xcode 12, we need to go to the file, which is in the toolbar next to the Xcode icon. See, this is a file. Go to the file, select the new and click the playground. Now this is asking me to select the template for the playground. If it is for the iPhone app, I will choose iOS. For Mac OS, that is the Apple computer we use Mac OS, and for creating a software for the tvOS we used to click this tvOS, but I am using iOS. I will create a blank playground and I will click a next button. Now I will save my playground with the name Swift Basics, and I will put this playground in my document directory and inside a playground folder which I have created. So I will create this playground. Now my playground is created. There are few things that you should know for the playground. All the line of the code, each and every line of the code will be executed simultaneously, but in the Xcode 12 now they provide this run icon over here, blue run icon. So for running this line of a code you need to click on this and this line of the code will be executed. See, hello playground is written over here because variable str is keeping this hello playground. So if you create any variable or with a let or a where, it will be executed like this. But if you want to run each and every line of a code without clicking this icon, this run button, you can do one thing. Go to this square icon or a square button which is meant for stopping the playground, and click on this arrow like this. You can stop like over here, but what I need to do is long press this like see, if I long press this icon, I have to select, I will get a drop down and it is saying automatically run or manually run. I have an option to run it automatically or I can run it manually. So for running this automatically, I will select automatically run, and now I don't need to click on this blue icon. This blue icon will disappear and my each and every line of the code will be executed by itself automatically. So this is how the playground will work. Now since we have, this is running the Swift basic, see it is running. Now let me stop this. See, this is stopped. Now what we need to learn is, we are going to learn let and where. So let me create, see here you have a where str and it is holding a value. But when I need to change the value of the str, I can use str is equal to, str is a variable which is meant for a string. We can define str, we can use another variable also. You can use a where get a string. So I am going to change this get a string to, from the hello playground to hi everyone. So see, hi everyone. Now the get a string is carrying a value hi everyone. What if I define this variable get a string with a let? Let me see. Let str get a string hello playground, and now I am changing this to, see, you are getting an error because as soon as you define a variable with a let keyword, you cannot change the value at any time in your code. But if you put a, if you use a where keyword, you can change the value at any time, and you can even take a nil value for that. So this is what the let and where is. To the definition part one more time, once again. What is a let and a where? Let keyword is used to declare a constant and where keyword is used to declare a variable. Variable created with both of them are either a pointer or value. The difference between them is that when you create a constant with the let keyword, you can give it a value upon declaration or within the calling scope and you cannot reassign it. And when you declare a variable with a where keyword, you can either it can either be assigned right away or at a later time or not at all. So we have discussed that whenever we create a let variable with a let keyword, we cannot change the value of the variable. Let me discuss one more thing here, how we will assign a variable with a where keyword and with a nil value. So coming to my playground, let me open my playground. Okay, so I have created this. I am changing the value. I am not able to change the value because I have used the let keyword, and let keyword will not allow me to change the value of the variable. I will take a where and I will be able to change the value of this variable and the error will be gone. Now if I take this variable get a string and I define this variable like this with this question mark. I am going to use this question mark, and this question mark is used to define a variable with a nil value. This question mark denotes that this variable can also contain a value nil. So whenever I take the value whenever I declare a variable with this string question mark, this is stating that get a string can also have a nil value, and whenever the get a string will have a nil value, the app should never crash. But if I take this variable, this exclamation mark, this states that get a string value can never have a nil value. Get a string variable can never have a nil value, and whenever in any time in the program, in any project, in any point of a time, if this get a string value carries a nil get a string variable carries a nil value, my app will crash because I have declared this with a exclamation mark. So if I take this question mark, my getter string can have a nil value at any time. So now getter string have a value. Let me take another variable. Let me define this str1 and let me take one more variable with str2, and this time I am going to declare this str2 as hi. Now I am going to take another variable str3, and this variable will carry a value of str1 and str2 added together. This is how we add a value of a string. We use a plus operator for that. Now you see, let me just delete this. You see, a value of optional type str question mark must be unwrapped to value of a type string. It is saying that if you are declaring a variable str2 hi and you are taking a string 1 as a nil type, you need to unwrap this value. Whenever you take a question mark here and you try to add this variable to another variable, you need to unwrap the value. How will I unwrap this value? Let me see. It is saying use double question mark and a default value. So this double question mark and this default value, this line is stating that str1, if str1 carries a nil value, then assign this blank string to it and do not crash my app. and add a blank string to str2 and put the value to str3. So, if I take this variable let, now str1 is having a nil value, str2 is having a high value, str3 is going to add these two values, and I have unwrapped this value. Let me just not unwrap this value and see what happens. Value must be unwrapped, but as soon as I unwrap this, my error is not gone, which was gone for the case of the where keyword. It is saying that the constant str1 used before being initialized. So this is what that line of a definition states, that let, whenever you take a let keyword, you cannot take a value to nil. So we will take a value as, we will take a where keyword for this. So coming once again to the definition part, let keyword is used to declare a constant and a where keyword is used to declare a variable. Variable created with both of them are either a pointer or a value. The difference between them is that when you can create a constant with the let, you have to give it a value upon declaration, and you cannot reassign the value. But when you take a variable with a where keyword, you can reassign the value and you can either take a nil value. But the let keyword is used to declare a constant and where keyword is used to declare a variable. Variable created with both of them are either reference or values. So in our next video, we are going to discuss this reference or value, and it will be more clear to you how a let and where keyword is used to declare both reference and values. So we will discuss what is the difference between the reference type and a value type, and how let and where are used to declare both of them. So in this tutorial we discuss what is a let and where keyword and how we mutate the value of the let. We can mutate the value of the where keyword, but we cannot mutate or we cannot change the value of the let keyword. So see you in the next video. Goodbye for now. Please don't forget to subscribe this channel to get more basic concept of the Swift.